Hello, friends and knife nerds. Let's take a closer look at the Finch Knives Stinger. So, first point of order is the beautiful ebony wood scales. I believe this is an African tree. It is one of the hardest woods in the entire world, so it really makes for a great scale. And the Finch symbol looks nice in there. I don't like overly symboled or logoed knives, but Finch, their logo is really nice, and it kind of blends and adds a bit of class to the knife. And this ebony wood is perfect. Nice titanium pocket clip right there. Their blade centering is just right on its game. Now, they call it the Stinger for quite an obvious reason that you're about to see. Oh, the deployment. I love the deployment of this knife. Just a slight little flick and boom. So look at that. That looks, any bee who has that on their tail is going to do damage. That's not coming out as easy as you would hope with a pair of tweezers. That is a beautiful blade. Finch, just their traditional design versus the modern aesthetic and the old aesthetic is in the perfect place for me. I love traditional pocket knives. I love slip joints, and I love folders. And that's where you get me, when you can mix the two and come up with a beautiful construction. And they did it here like they usually do. All their knives are beautiful. At least all that I've seen so far. I mean, Finch just wildly impressive to me. And the finish on the bolsters, that brushed steel, looks so nice. And they have this incredible thing they do with the jimping, which I think is genius, and more companies need to get on this, because when you have a flipper, it can really mess up the ergonomics when you have a flipper. So they jimped the top like that, and they jimped the bottom. They do this with all their flippers. And what that does is, instead of this protrusion being an annoyance, it actually adds to your grip. It's jimped, so this finger is sturdy. It's not going to slide as easily onto the blade or off of it. And because of this size, I mean, they just made it the perfect EDC size. Piercing and pulling or slicing is super easy, super controlled. I would call this a drop point. It looks like it is a drop point. I'm not exactly sure if it's below or above the pivot, but it's right there. But it just looks like a Stinger. There's a perfect name for this knife. Let's get some measurements here. So, stem to stern, 7 inches. Blade, 3 inches. Yeah, let me double check that. That felt a little shaky. Sorry, sometimes my hands shake. It's almost dinner time. Yeah, 3 inches. That is spot on. Let's check the weight of this bad boy before I give you a quick comparison of some of the other common knives that, let's see, what do we got? 3.17 ounces. That is a very nice, a pretty lightweight knife, and it just feels so good in hand. That flipper is an excellent. Okay, I'm glad. I really wish more companies would do that. So let me make a quick comparison for you. So we're going to use the CJRB Pyrite Alt, my favorite, probably my favorite budget knife of last year. Ooh, that needs some cleaning, yikes. Probably my favorite budget knife of last year, I think I named it. And for very good reason. Here is another one of my top 10 of last year. I think I did a top 9, actually. So let's go pivot to pivot. And the Stinger is slightly smaller at 7 inches than probably most of your typical folders these days. This is almost an 8-inch knife. Wow, I forgot that the Brat was that big. And the Alt is just 7 3/8. So that's a pretty typical size. So it's not much bigger, but you can see there it's not a very wide knife. It's thin. It's meant to be thin, and it's meant to be a quick poker and a puller. It's just a beautiful design. We have a flat grind on it too. So there is your comparison. So I have been growing my collection of Finch knives, and I plan on continuing to do that. I just really enjoy the quality that I get from them. It's they just know what they're doing over there, and I really hope that their name spreads and gets out, because I love the quality of their knives. These can be purchased at traditionalpocketknives.com, one of my favorite websites. If you're interested, take a look over there. I'll have a link in the description. Friends, knife nerds like myself, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day.